Hello, beautiful mamas. As a working mom, sometimes I can really feel scattered, unorganized, or simply just rushing from one thing to another and all over the place. Finding time for myself and finding my sanity can almost feel like an impossible dream. Can you relate? Well, this is why I have created my free Mama's Guide to Creating Balance and Harmony as my gift to you. This guide contains my top 10 tips to creating balance and harmony in your life, as well as 3 beautiful trackers to help you get onto your journey in a fun and simple way. I have found by incorporating daily self-care routines and practices in my life for as little as 5 minutes a day, I am feeling more grounded, centered, and calm. By me tapping into my best version through these practices, I am also a better mom, a better partner, and a better colleague. Well, really, just a better human being in all the ways. So, if this sounds like something that you would like to explore, click on the link in the show notes below and download your free guide today. We were all born with the innate power of knowing and wisdom within us. The challenge for many of us is that we were taught to seek answers externally instead of searching from within. And this is the reason why so many of us find ourselves going around in circles, searching for new ways, but could never find the way. The womanly way. It's not the way. It's not my way. But it is a pathway to support all of us returning back to self, reconnect with our inner wisdom through loving ourselves, knowing ourselves, and reconnecting with ourselves.
Tell me and be honest. Tell me should I've known.
So we can start to find our own way as modern day women. Are you interested? Well, sit back, relax, and welcome to this amazing journey. Hello. Welcome to this episode of the Womanly Way podcast. I am your host, Lala Angela Wang. Well, so I've decided every now and then, whenever I'm doing a live recording of the podcast, when I am broadcasting it onto my socials, I would pull a card. I might even do it for every episode. I just see how I feel. So today, that's how I'm gonna start some of these episodes from now on. Just because lately I really feel like I want to better cultivate my connections with spirit, and I'm loving some of the cards I've got and loving how it's giving me really good communication with them. So today, I'm using the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. Kuan Yin has actually got a very long connection with my family, so I always felt very connected with her. And also these decks are really good. She's very direct in this. And I've actually gone ahead and done it before I actually decided to do it properly on my podcast. So I've actually pulled out the card earlier already. It's card number 37. Priestess of Perfect Pairing makes the match. So I'm just going to read the intro. For any of you that wanted to see the reading of it, just go to my Instagram. I'm actually going to do a post about it, so you can all see what the contents are. Okay, so here's in each section, and the reason I only want to read out the beginning, because this is 3 pages long and the words are so tiny. So I'm going to read out the intro, and then I'm going to give you a bit of a take on what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing, what this is talking about, because it's actually quite relevant to today's episode. So here we go. Number 37, the Priestess of Perfect Pairing makes the match. I see the true nature of all beings and bring to them their perfect match so that the journey of love may be experienced. Those currently in your life and those just now entering your world are there by my design. ask for me to show you the purpose behind the pairing, and you shall learn to trust in my wisdom and compassion. You are now blessed with my loving grace in all matters of relationship and connection. Surrender any issue within relationships to me, and I shall intervene to create the perfect pairing. Beautiful, isn't it? And the card is beautiful. So for any of if you are thinking about getting a new deck of oracle cards, Alana Fairchild's Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. I absolutely love them. If you're looking at this live or replay, just look at the painting on the card. It's beautiful. Okay, so my reading of this, and like I said, if you want to know, it's a 3-page long explanation. So if you want to know, go to my Instagram page, The Womanly Way, and you will see all of the explanations. But for me, I think it's really relevant to what we're talking about today, about how do we crack the code as multi-passionate individuals in finding what our true purpose is. Because for a multi-passionate person, right, it's like the perfect pairing. You have to find the perfect pairing. Otherwise, a lot of times what you find is you may find yourself all over the place, and people think that you're all over the place. People think that you've got, what is that thing called? The shiny object syndrome. But the truth is you just haven't found the perfect pairing yet. And that's why I love this oracle card. I truly believe it's not just about people, it's about situations and connections, right? And I remember one of my mentor, when I first started personal development, used to say, people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I know it's not his quote. I actually don't know who this quote came from. I will find out. But I love this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And again, situations are the same. They come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think, life would be so much easier if we can just all live with the mentality that everything happens for us for a reason. And it is our job to figure out what that reason is and not necessarily make it better, but understanding what our part is in it. So just putting the card away. So finding what our part is in it is going to help us learn the lessons that we need to learn the reasons that we need to learn, right? And for me, I started my entrepreneurial journey not in 2015. My real entrepreneurial journey, as my childhood friend, Tess, who lives in New Zealand, has very kindly reminded me this time around. It started, actually not this time, last year when we caught up. It actually started when I was 15, 16. We had this thing called the entrepreneurship. It's almost like a extra curriculum group where we all have to start a business. I can't remember. I think it might be called Young Entrepreneurs or something like that. And I used to gather my friends around and do all these funky things. One year we did magnet, the other year we did these pouches, or hand sewn. I can't remember what I used my mom's sewing machine, but they were all like, I did all these different sizes for different use. And I used to drag my friends around with me to help me run my business. And in my early 20s, I dragged my back then boyfriend / fiance along with me to market, selling t-shirts. So I've always had a entrepreneurial spirit. But my biggest struggle has been that I have so many ideas. Now, depending on how you look at your charts, depending on what you believe in terms of astrology and human design, I truly believe in 13 sign, but I also believe that we are influenced by the 12 sign astrology because it's been in our world for so long. So whenever I do a reading, especially when I do my sun return reading, I do both. And then I looked at both, right? When I look at my human design, I also do both, and I looked at both. The way that I look at it, whatever comes from the 12 sign is what the mainstream is doing. And whatever is in the 13 sign is, if we want to be a trailblazer, if we want to be the occult, if we want to make a difference in this world, that's what we look at. So for me, in terms of human design, 12 sign, I am a generator. I am a pure generator. What do I mean by pure generator? I am a sacral generator. So emotion doesn't come into play. So when I get a sacral yes, it's a yes, right? But in the 13th sign, I'm actually a manifesting generator, which has a bit of complexity in it. And what makes it more complex is that I'm actually an emotional authority as well, which means for me, whenever an idea comes to me, I need to let that excitement settle and then go and do it. And then feel into whether it's a yes or a no in my body as well. And why am I sharing this with you guys on this topic of cracking the code of a multi-passionate individual and finding your perfect match? It is because of human design. I started to not take direct action when things and ideas are coming to me. It is also because of my practices in avoiding burnout that has helped me as well. So burnout has been something that I am very familiar with ever since. I think in my university days, I don't understand what burnout is, right? We have a lot of adrenaline and that's just what's needed. And that's what holidays are for. You sleep, you do all those things so you have the energy to do it again next semester. So when I was at uni, I didn't understand, I didn't experience burnout. I probably experienced it, but not consciously knowing that there was burnout. When I started work, and don't get me wrong, hard working is in my blood. I am never going to be I don't think I'll ever be a lazy employee. If I love what I do, then you bet I'll give you 110%. But that's where the issue lies, because back then, I didn't know about boundaries. I didn't know about how I am best to protect my energy, right? So as a generator, people say that we have a lot of energy. And as an Aries in 12 signs, people also say that we have a lot of energy. So I didn't know how to hold back. You get all of me. Just imagine like bushfire going wild. You get all of me. And I didn't know where to stop. And my body has been giving me all these signs to stop. I wouldn't. So in the end, I would have rashes on my face. So severe, I had to put steroid creams on my face to stop the itchiness. And generally, there's a prescribed cream that you could do, but government subsidy will only allow one tube at a time, so one prescription at a time every year. In 1 year, I had the same thing happen within 6 months. So my doctor was basically saying to me, the only way you can get this prescription is to self-fund. And generally, people don't get this often. So that became an issue. And that was when I started to really focus on managing my workload, managing how I work. But it really wasn't until recently when I started my spiritual journey and start to do my studies. I'm very fortunate to have a mentor that understands my energy, that understands the way I operate. And I would say probably in the last 2 or 3 years, I'm getting reminded very constantly about minding my energy. And this is when my practice of leaning back and really not allowing myself, I guess that's not allowing is such a strong word, but it's like when you have a new idea, and you will get it if you're like me, if you're a multi-passionate individual like me, you will get it. When an idea comes, I get so excited, I just want to take action right away. But now, when an idea comes and the excitement comes, I'll be like, this is a great idea, I'm so excited. But at the same time, I also know I have all these other things that I'm excited about, which is perfect. But I need to find what is the perfect thing for right here, right now. What is the thing that I really need to focus on right now? And part of this training ground has been my pregnancy and becoming a mum and going back to the workforce as a full-time working mum, because all of a sudden, my focus has shifted, but I still want to have all the things I used to have. I still want to have all the things I used to do. I still have a purpose, have a mission. I still want to be that person that helps heal people, right? So I think I will never, ever be just a mom or just a working mom or just an employee. It's non-negotiable, and it's not a part of me because it just wouldn't light me up, right? Helping people, being a healer, being a light shower is my purpose. It's what lights me up. But it's figuring out what is my perfect pairing when it comes to how I'm meant to serve. And that has been my biggest search, I think, for the past 5-6 years, ever since I've written my book. So 2018, so 5 years, 6 years. But that's been my biggest search. And I really, really feel that I have landed on something now, because everything is like humming and it's pointing towards this direction. I've had feedback from a lot of my mentors. I've had feedback from a lot of people going, your content is all over the place. You are all over the place. People just don't know what you're about. And I get it. I get that. But that's also part of me figuring out, right? Have you ever, if you are like me, if you're a multi-passionate individual, have you ever had people saying to you, you've got shiny object syndrome, or like you're just all over the place, you know, you're passionate about so many things and, you know, a jack of all trades, but a master of none? And what I really want to say to you is that it's not true. All of the things that the universe, that spirit, that God has put in front of you is so, when the right thing comes, you have all the skills to allow that to happen and to land, right? So if you look at my journey, this time around, we're not talking about my prior experience, but ever since 2015, and I really believe I've come a full circle. When I first started my business, I had this idea of a holistic business. It's mind, body, spirit. I knew. But then my then mentor said to me, you can't do all the things at once. You have to focus on the one thing. So I picked food. And what that led me from a caterer then turned into a high tea specialist. I do boutique high tea, and turned into event organizer, which I'm great at. But it was just taking too much of my time and energy, right? And then turned into a book writer and author, a coach and a mentor for men in terms of mental wealth, mental health, in the construction industry. And then I was guided to start leading women. And that's when the Womanly Way was born. And so since 2020, that has been my focus for the last 4 years. Oh my God, yes, the Womanly Way will be 4 years old next month. Oh no, actually we are 4 years old already. I think Womanly Way was born in February 2020. Yeah, around that time. And ever since I had the Womanly Way, it was me exploring the different things, and different things still come to me. Business systems, affiliate marketing, all of the things. And lately you would have seen me start talking about mushrooms, about health, about hydration, about energy, right? And what you're going to see me talking a lot about is gut health, about emotional, how our gut health is linked to our emotional health. And you're also going to hear me talking a lot about, helping working mums to really stepping into their power, start stepping into their personal brand without burnout. And if you really, really think about it, why do I say it's a full circle? Because what I am at right now and the things that I want to talk about right now is really that gut and mind connection. Gut health is all about food. And I really, really think, if we can all heal our gut health issues, we will get more mental clarity. And if we get more mental clarity, our mental health will improve. And if our mental health can improve, we will have more connection with spirit, because we're no longer in our head. Our gut's healed, our head's healed, our emotions are healed. So then, you know how they talk about your gut feelings? We'll be more in our gut. We'll be more connected to our intuition. And so we'll be able to be more aligned, more authentic, and we know what our personal brand is or our mission is. And that will allow us to be more successful individuals in the workforce and therefore attract more abundance and be able to support our family that way. Because I truly believe it is my role here to help the world heal our feminine wound and heal the relationship between the feminine and the masculine. And that is, to me, really about that mind and gut connection. And truly believe we can heal those wounds, then we'll be able to create more abundance and freedom in our lives. And freedom to me isn't just about having money to do whatever we want. Freedom is to be free from the rat race that we have, the constant thinking and overthinking in our head, the uneasiness in our body, the feeling of being trapped. And really no one else could give you the freedom but you. And it's really all about mind, body, spirit connection, right? So you wouldn't see me post something on the social the other day about my new program that is coming out, that took me 2 years to finally land. And now the spirits are telling me, go, 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 go. You have to go right now. And I was negotiating with spirits. I'm like, I can't. I'm in the middle of introducing a new product to Australia, which is amazing. I'm in the middle of talking about all this emotional health, about our mental health. It's mental health month, this awareness month this month. I can't be talking about a third thing. The spirit's like, no, they're all related. You have to talk about it. It's now or never. So I've been sitting there for the past couple of days thinking and asking for guidance around what is it? What is the connection? And I've got it. But I want to share with you guys how I got it though. I didn't get it from just sitting there and waiting for the perfect thing to come. I get there from testing different things, doing different things, trialing different things, and paving that foundation, right? All these different things that came to me. When universe gave it to me, I'm like, okay, do I do it? Yes, some of them were out of the excitement I did, But a lot of the recent projects, I actually had to sit there because of the practice that I'm going through, sit there and go, is this really the thing? And feeling the feelings in my body. I'm not always right, but I still believe these things happen to me for a reason, right? It's paving that path to where I needed to be to find my perfect pairing. I might digress a little bit, but it's the same with relationship. Before I found Scott, I had to go through the different relationships. I actually had a list, and Scott pretty much ticked everything on the list. But I had to go through all these different relationships of the man that kind of fits but doesn't quite fit. Some may tick some boxes, some may tick most boxes and miss one. Right? I've met a guy who's got the money, we're great friends, but he doesn't know how to love people. He comes from a really rough background. He doesn't know how to love people. I've got somebody who gives me all the love, but it's not the relationship that I'm after. He hasn't got the personal development background that I'm after. So all these things really allowed me to see what not to do, or what's not aligned with my list, what's not aligned with my mission to find my soulmate back then. Same thing with all these businesses. All this trial and error allowed me to feel, what does it feel when something feels aligned, when something is so right? What does it feel like when something is not aligned, it's not quite ready, it's not quite for me? It doesn't mean that it's bad product or bad service or bad ideas. It may sometimes mean that it's just not the perfect timing. Like Corporate Witchcraft, the program that I'm launching right now, or about to launch, which I got the graphics for 2 days ago. Ever since I had George, I had this idea of launching Corporate Witchcraft. It just never took off, even from my end. There's a lot of resistance. I never had any download. It's just not quite ready. And when it's finally ready, there's that urgency, but there's also that communication, that conversation I had with my spiritual team. It was literally time to go. I'm like, no, I can't do this again and fail. And they're like, you're not going to fail. You need to do this. You need to do this right now. There's a sense of urgency. And I didn't have that before, right? The graphics came super quick. Everything came super quick. It was just super, super aligned. And it was beautiful. Same thing with fragrance. This business that I am aligning myself with, everything just happened with ease. There's no stress. I sat on it. I sat on it for a week. So much so I missed the free registration period. I actually had to pay for it. But nothing was a stress. And now that I've tried the product, they are amazing. They are so aligned. And when I signed up, it was just clarity. There's no comparison. There's no FOMO. Everyone was advertising about this before they got the product. I knew I have to try it, to experience it, to know it, to then decide, am I going to back this thing 100%? And now I tried it for 3 days. I'm backing it 100%. Okay. Why am I backing 100%? Because it's aligned with all the things that I am about, that I was talking about. It's aligned with gut health. It helps with inflammation. It's aligned with good quality product. And I love mushrooms. Mushrooms just keep popping out in my life everywhere right now. I'm even planting my own mushroom. I love mushrooms. And it's got 7 mushrooms in it. I love anything to do with frequency. I love the mission that the company has about helping people with mental health, with addictions. I love the fact that it's something easy and it's good for me. It's not coffee. And I love the fact that it's given me so much mental clarity, and that I have not been craving for junk food or fast food or anything that is not acceptable by carnivore diet or sweet, nothing. And really for me, I'm so excited about it because it's going to help mums. It's going to help our gut health, our mental health. It's going to help us with the mental clarity and the gut clarity. And so when I got this, I was excited, but also knew that I had to try it. Right. Whereas in all the other products I had before, I had so much FOMO. I was like, I have to sell this right now because there's so much competition, blah, 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 blah. No. This time around, I was okay with it. I was okay to just sit there, absorb all the information, allow the download to come down, and just share from a heart center's place. The delivery was late, but it was perfectly timed. And I realized all of the things that I have learned since 2015 is now going to help me in this next phase of my life, in this next phase of my business. It is going to help me, help other people, help me to get the message out there. I've got all the tools, right? So coming back full circle to the topic, circling back. If you are a multi-passionate individual and you're like, oh my God, seriously, I feel like I've tried all these things and none of them work. Really note down all the lessons you've learned, all the skills you've learned, and keep searching. But what I will highly recommend that you do is go and find out what is your human design type. Go and find out what is your human design type and find out how you are best to respond, how you are best to interact with the world, and then figuring out how you're best to figure out what your perfect match in terms of your passion, your mission, right here, right now is. Right. God, source, universe, spirit did not make you multi-passionate because they want to torture you. They made you multi-passionate so you can have all these skill set that will support you when you finally found that thing. And sometimes, and I'm happy to say this because 60% of us are either a manifesting generator or a generator, right? So it's more than 50% of the population. So it's likely you're experiencing the same thing as me. It's okay to lean back. It's okay to say, hey, I'm excited right now, but I'm just going to let my emotions settle and I'm going to feel into it. It's okay to say to people, let me sit on it, right? Because you will know when it's calm and when you're calmed and when there's no noises around you, you'll be able to feel into your body a lot more. And it's about practice. But the things that are meant for you will always be meant for you. You won't miss it. And this is probably the biggest thing that I've learned in cracking this code. The things that are meant for you is meant for you. And sometimes they're meant for you just in a different timing. I've got a lot of other things that I'm waiting to action on, but they're not meant for me right now. There's so many things that I wanted to do a few years ago. They're still not right for me right now, but I have this feeling they will be very soon. Right? So it is okay to keep a list. It is so okay to keep your list of ideas. Ideas books are great for people who are multi-passionate. And really, if I am to offer my one advice in cracking this code, is to be okay to sit with it, to practice sitting with your ideas. It sounds so easy, right? It's not. It's to practice sitting with the ideas. And if you really want to test the market, post something about what you're thinking and see what the reactions are. Because if you're a generator, it's all about responding. If you post something and there's no response, that means that's not meant for you. You're like, but I'm meant to respond to other people. Yes, but it doesn't mean you can't generate a discussion, right? If you post something and there's no response, it's not for you. Maybe later, but right now it's not, right? So be a keen researcher. Be a keen observer. Be okay to lean back and sit in those ideas, in those feelings, in those downloads. And that really takes practice. And if I have to say, the majority of my practices that I have been practicing in the last 2 years is to sit in those moments, to sit in the energy of those new ideas and not take action. It's bloody hard, but it's a practice that finally paid off. And literally, I don't know how to describe it, but when the moment that thing is the right thing, you can literally feel, I could be quite visual sometimes, but what I feel is everything just clicks together. You know how when they have those puzzles where you have to tweak different pieces? I'm literally seeing like they all come together, just like, it's like those locked doors when you crack the code and the door opens. Everything just lined up. And I feel everything lined up in my body. That's how it feels. And I want you to feel the same. And I really hope this episode has inspired you, has helped you, has given you maybe some clarity and some ideas. And if you'd like to find out how you can sit in those feelings and emotions and excitement and ideas, feel free to reach out and let me know if that's what you like, because I will love to share them with you as well. Or alternatively, reach out and sign up to my corporate witchcraft mastermind, because I'll be teaching that in there as well. Love you all so, so, so much. As per usual, I want you to know that you are so special. You are so important. Make sure whatever you do, you look after yourself first. Love you all. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.